everyone, and welcome to Southern Soul Tarot. I want to thank you for joining me today, and we are going to be doing a channeling kind of like slash psychic reading for Nancy Ng. She is 29 years old, and she was last seen on October 19th of 2023. So she is from Monterey Park, California, and she had went on a yoga retreat in Guatemala. So the last time people had saw her or video was seen of her was of her on a kayak, kind of I guess it was on a lake or a river. I'm not quite sure, but there's a few other people also in the water on their own little boats or kayaks or whatever it is that they're on. But they're saying some of the people from what I'm understanding, are admitting that she possibly drowned, but there's other people who were on the retreat with her during this trip while they went kayaking, and they're not basically saying anything as to what happened. So I kind of went ahead and laid down a baseboard to what I was picking up, and then I also have the Edgar Allan Poe off to the side and some oracles in case we get into that. But I want to kind of go ahead and start with like the energy that led up to her disappearance, kind of what happened surrounding that and what you can kind of expect in the future, and then we'll kind of go ahead and use the Edgar Allan Poe to clarify anything that, to make it more detailed if we need to do so. And then I also laid out a card for the bottom energy of the deck. So the main energy overall over this is going to be a female's energy. So it's going to be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, which is just air energy. But basically air kind of rules, basically communication, ideas, thoughts, sometimes even conflicts in structure. They're kind of usually structured people. They're usually authoritative in some way or have some type of authority in some way, or they can be bosses or run, just someone who kind of has a lot of say over certain things in certain areas of their life and other areas of maybe other people's lives. So, but that can be the energy around the female that's kind of involved here, because so far from what I'm getting, I kind of feel that a female is the main person that was upset about something, and that would be this energy here, and I'll get to that soon. If they're in reverse, so that person feels a bit like more manipulative, that female energy. They feel like they are to other people they come off very like creative. I mean, it's the Empress energy, so it's very creative, adventurous, like kind of nurturing, even mothering at times, but the person actually in all reality is not really always that. They can be very neglectful, kind of damaging as far as not giving the nurturing mentally and physically that they should be giving to an individual when it's needed. So and they kind of can be codependent on somebody or something, and so if something doesn't go their way, then they can kind of act out until things kind of go their way, or make something happen, or try to make something happen so things will go in their favor. So basically what I got leading up to the disappearance of Nancy is that it feels like it was like she has the Eight of Swords come out first. So the Eight of Swords is kind of like having a release from something. So it's kind of, it's feeling a little bit stuck when it's like this, feeling like you can't really, like you're maybe mentally blocked, physically blocked, and kind of can't see which direction to go or which direction to move. But in reverse, it was kind of like feeling like maybe letting go of some mental stress, letting go of some anxiety. It could be connected to work, even friendships, relationships, but something that had been troubling her, could have been for a while, could have lasted 8 months, could have been something that happened around August, but something had been bothering her that she was recently trying to get away from. So she was wanting like more freedom, release. She was just trying to see what new possibilities she could have, and that's kind of where the Page of Wands comes in. So she was going on this retreat. Again, I feel like they said this is the second time she went on the retreat. So even though it's the second time, it's still something that, she kind of, it's a trip, it's something she's going on. So it's something that she was going to meet new people, try new things, and see where that took her. So basically that's just being, kind of seeing your possibilities, exploring them, being enthusiastic about it, and, just kind of, again, having a lot of energy, wanting to go. So there also is this past energy here. Upright, this male is usually, and I did get a masculine energy, had somewhat to do with it also, like some kind of say in it, but didn't really do anything to stop the disappearance. This male energy could be a little bit older, or can act older than they are. Sometimes they can be like about in their 50s or so, late 40s to 50s. But this is usually someone who's going to be like a leader of some sort, or someone that you would look up to. they can be cold and callous when they're like that, and that's how the person's coming out. So it's almost like after this trip like started, and they were, made the movement to Guatemala, I believe is where they went. Yeah, it's like this male's energy kind of shifted a bit about something. He was a bit unhappy, and it does feel connected to her and maybe this other possible female. So it's kind of like an irritation feeling, like kind of feels like sandpaper being rubbed on sandpaper is the kind of feeling you get from this person. Very rough, very cold. And again, I got the number 5 3 times. So for me, the number 5 also connects to a lot of conflict. Again, changes, challenges, defeats. Just kind of, feeling like you can't get past something. Feeling like, again, like you're up, like challenging something constantly. So that's how she felt against this person right before she, disappeared. So this person was kind of feeling a bit disappointed in the situation with her, and what was like disheartened as far as feeling like maybe that there could be, I almost feel like something more. I don't know if this older person maybe was interested in her and she wasn't interested in them. I'm not really sure how that goes yet, but all I know that just feel like there's a male energy that's a bit disappointed that they didn't get the emotions and the feelings that they were hoping that they would get in return. So they feel like they did all this and try to make everything great for her, but she didn't really kind of reciprocate in the way that they expected. And so even under the card right now, where I fear it's like the Queen of Swords here, which is, somebody that can be, again, harsh, but it can also be very good at communicating and can be very emotionally available. They can also be emotionally detached, but you have the Lovers in reverse. So again, I don't know if it's a relationship thing yet, because it doesn't have to be like a dating relationship. It could be a friendship that went bad. So, but again, I'm just saying I'm getting a male and female energy that are connected to her. The day of her passing, there was a bit of argumentation. The number 5 there is again. So I do feel about like 4 to 5 people know about what's happened. I do think 1 or 2 possibly said something, but the rest are staying quiet again. So I feel like during that 5, with the number 5, there is a lot of deceit, intimidation, aggression, and you kind of see that in that person's face. So that's where I feel this female energy comes in. It's kind of like they just kind of don't nurture the situation. They kind of fuel it and make it worse. So with that happening, they cause more kind of like of a pushback and more of an argument with the 5 of Wands. So with the 5 of Wands, you're kind of looking at a lot of jealousy, rivalry, kind of just feeling like you're pushed up against the wall and you want to like, you'll feel defeated, so you're pushing back constantly against other people. So it's a lot of ego involved too, and it's also very physical. So it's more like physical fighting too. So that makes her feel out in the cold. So to me, this is when she was left after the drowning, because I do feel that she has drowned in some sort. I do feel that it could have been prevented, but I feel like this is what this card is about, again, with the 5, because again, the 5 connects to conflict, changes, defeat. So she feels defeated by these individuals, she feels left out in the cold, and she feels as if they purposely, and they did purposely leave her there. They're not really doing anything to help bring her back, and so that makes her feel very neglected in that sense, and wanting to be found so she can come home, because also the Pentacles connect to the home. So with the 3 of Swords in reverse, that's also communication. So that's air energy. So for me, that's like 3 people possibly that still know what's going on. I don't feel like they've said anything yet, but I feel like it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to say something. So this will help kind of bring some type of, not just healing, but some kind of answers, because communication is also speech. So that's bringing answers in on something. So it also kind of, with the Hermit here, it's kind of like they've been keeping it to themselves, finding like being a bit like, hermit mode, staying to themselves, trying to find a way to put the story together. What's the best thing to say? But really, it's kind of just, they're kind of scared, they're weak, and they don't really, the people are scared, they're weak, they don't want to get in trouble. So they're trying to find a way to twist things. But in the long run, the truth does come out. Again, you kind of see this is exactly kind of what she was doing when she was last seen. She was on a boat. She was doing the excursion, and then they didn't come back with her, they came back without her. So that's the number 6. The number 6 is in the near future. So I feel like that is when you'll get more answers. So that could be, maybe, the next 3 to 4 people will release those answers, and then that will bring you on to the next stage of moving forward with, as far as numerology wise. So when you go into 6, it's more of an adjustment and kind of also a harmony as far as moving forward. It's like you can finally move on with what you know mentally, use it how you need it, whether that be through court documents, whatever you need, but it could be text messages and things like that. But it's just letting information come out so that you can move forward into the future in the way that you need to. Swords also connect to legal energy too. So that could be moving forward towards the legal process. So I'm looking more like 6 weeks. 6 months feels far away. You could even look at the 6th of a month coming up, but I'm still going to stick with the number 6 for when you might know more about that. So, let me see if I get